Hello Internet. Today we have this 3090 from Zotac with disconnected fan. Along with the fan, the hook was also disconnected from the board, and that's basically what we have to deal with today. So, let's get her naked and see what you look like inside. Halfway in, no thermal paste on the GPU die, which is a big no-no. Sometimes lack of paste can crack corners of the die, but I guess the owner doesn't care and neither do I. In any case, before we do any type of repair, we need to know if this card is a bust to begin with. To find out, we'll be measuring resistances in the key areas, such as 1.8, 12, hex, memory, 5, 12, 12, and another 5, and 3.3 in no particular order. Usually, the next step is to power the board and see what it does. But in this case, I can't do it! You see, there may be shorted traces, so we need to prep and clean this area first, so let's do that now. There we have it. Board is prepared, but due to the nature of the damage, it makes perfect sense to go straight for reball and lifting the adjacent memory chip to make sure that there are no ripped pads. So let's do that and hope for the best. Okay, reball is done, and there were no ripped pads, which is surprising. And all resistances also look normal. And since all the LEDs light up on this tester, I can assume that the reball was a success. Now, before I power the board, I have to fix the crack, otherwise missing feedback connections could cause mini explosions. And I'm not in the mood for any explosions today, so I'll fix the crack first, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, the crack is repaired, and it finally came time to power the board. But once it was powered, looking through the thermal camera, we see absolutely no sign of life. This can be easily explained by a lack of 1.8 volt, as you can see here. Why that is? I have no idea, so let's flip the board over and find out. This buck converter here needs 12 volt, which it will convert down to 1.8 that we're missing. We have 12 volt. Then, if everything before this buck converter is registered okay, it should have enable signal, and we do have that. The VCC pin, which powers this buck converter, is supposed to have 5 volt, but there is 0, and that's our problem. And as I was tracing 5 volt around the board, it turns out that the 5 volt is lost somewhere in that crack. I have 5 volt before the crack, but not after, which means 5 volt trace was either ripped off or completely missed. Who knows? And instead of tearing the crack, I decided to simply run a wire on top of the board from point A to point B, and as you can see now, we have a good solid connection from point A to point B, and once the board is powered, it looks like all phases are doing something. I'll go ahead and verify that that something those phases are doing is actually normal. Never hurts to check. With that out of the way, let's boot the card and see if it posts. And bam! I am the way your son. Being a 40-year-old version with no life has finally paid off with nearly 100% success rate. What more can I ask? I guess I could ask you for a comment or maybe subscription if you're into this kind of stuff, or a like, whichever you want. And while you're making that decision, I'll put the board together along with some customer provided pads, which actually happen to be nearly perfect size. Very interesting. Must be some kind of a high-tech fancy pads from China that cost around $1 per square mile. And no wonder. They perform terrible, but that's what the customer wanted, so. In any case, thank you for watching. Hopefully you've learned something today, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.